Hi, I'm Tom Geisel. At Sun National Bank, we believe that citizens need to be informed about the important issues that affect their daily lives. That's why we're proud to support programming produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation and their partners in public television.
Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the New Jersey Education Association, working for great public schools for every child, and by Wells Fargo.
This is One-on-One.
That's good acting, man.
I get that a lot. I go to Atlantic City all the time, like, are you the guy? I go, no, I'm not.
This is one you can't afford to miss.
They thought that I wouldn't survive it, but I knew I would.
Everything you've ever wanted to know about obsessions and compulsions, you can find out right now. The expert is in the house. He is Dr. Lee Baer, author of Getting Control, Overcoming Your Obsessions and Compulsions, and all kinds of other credentials you're about to see when we chyron him in just a second. Good to see you, Doctor.
Good to see you, Steve.
6 million Americans suffer from OCD, which stands for?
Obsessive compulsive disorder.
All right. Now, I told you I have weird things, like I always have to write in a black felt pen, right? In my work to-do book. When I play golf, they have to be with Nike golf balls, or I just don't want to play golf anymore.
Right.
Or I think I'll hit a bad shot, and I like to write, everything has to be an even number, or bad things will happen. I'm not Howard Hughes, but I'm close. So, at what point do I have a real problem? Because one of the people you're writing about in the book went to wash his hands when he was out on a date, and he went to the bathroom for 7 hours, and when he came back, the date was gone. I'm not there, but what's OCD?
Well, as you point out, we all have elements of OCD. We all have some issues with contamination. We don't like to eat with a fork that's dropped on the floor.
Right.
We don't like to get married on Friday the 13th. We all have lucky things we do and don't do. But when the obsessions or compulsions take over an hour a day or cause significant interference with a person's life, then we call it OCD. So just to be clear, the obsessions are thoughts, distressing thoughts that come into a person's mind. It could be, I'm infected, maybe I shoplifted something, maybe I hit somebody with a car, maybe I had bad sexual thoughts, maybe I'm going to hell. And the compulsions are rituals they do to make themselves feel better, hand washing, checking, asking for reassurance.
Okay, but if it passes, you have the bad sexual thought, and I've had a bad sexual thought, but it comes in your head and it goes.
Absolutely.
And I don't have to wash my hands after.
Absolutely.
But I had the bad sexual thought. It just didn't stay there for a real long time.
Absolutely.
I'm okay.
You're absolutely okay. Almost 100% of people, or 90% of people, 100% of everybody who's honest, have those kind of thoughts.
When do we know, hey, I have to see a professional about this?
Well, if you ask a family with somebody with OCD, they'll tell you it's pretty easy to see. When a kid can't get up in the morning because they've been up all night praying because it didn't feel right, and they're afraid something will happen to their parents because of that, or they're stuck in the bathroom for hours washing their hands, or a person can't drive because they circle back to check, see if they hit somebody. It's pretty obvious. Sometimes it can take 8, 10, 12 hours a day. On the other hand, some people are very good at hiding it from their spouse for years.
How do you hide it?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Howard Hughes, one of the most obvious cases. I don't want to spend too much time on him. Could he have been helped? I know it was a different time. If someone had interceded earlier on, could he have been helped?
He probably could have been helped with cognitive behavior therapy, the non-drug technique I talk about in the book, and also medications. He's actually a very interesting case because he's one of the very rare cases that was probably caused by physical injury. He had several head injuries because of plane crashes.
Right.
Very tiny proportion of OCD cases are caused by infection or head injuries, but the vast majority seem to have a genetic component and then made worse by stress.
You believe it, in many cases, in most, it can be cured?
In the vast majority of cases, we can get the OCD to a point where it doesn't interfere with the person's life.
Let's break it down how,
it.
because a lot of people watching right now are dealing with it.
Absolutely. So the cognitive behavior therapy approach, first of all, we help the person.
What does that mean?
So cognitive means that we help the person to think better about it. So for example, teaching them that everybody has bad thoughts at times, teaching them that their feelings can lie to them, teaching them that even though we'd like things to be perfect, or we could be certain that there's no harm that'll come to us, that doesn't happen. That often helps a lot. And then helping them learn new habits. So if they avoid wearing clothes, for example, say if I avoided wearing this jacket because I wore it passing a funeral last time, to first of all teach the person to realize that there's no funeral germs that get onto the coat, even though it can feel that way, and then have them wear the jackets they've been avoiding. And at first they feel really upset and anxious, but as time goes on, they feel more and more comfortable. People can become housebound because of OCD.
Housebound.
Housebound.
This is not, is this hoarding as well, or is that a different?
Well, there's many different kinds of OCD symptoms. Hoarding is one that people have heard a lot about because of the TV shows, and it's
because I know some people who are dealing with, not dealing with it, but they have it and they're not dealing with it.
Yeah.
And I want to help, and I have no idea how.
Yeah, hoarding can be really tough because generally the person who's doing the hoarding isn't bothered by it.
Are they, okay, real, I don't want to assume people know what we're talking about. I know someone very close to me who has stuff in her house. Mm-hmm. She piles it up, piles it up, piles it up, and it's not just a messy house. I've got to believe she's holding on to something.
Yep. Yeah. There's different reasons people hold on to it. For some, even things that don't seem like they should have sentimental value to them. Other people feel like they might need those things one day, so they hold on to it. And again, there's a line between normal behaviors, collecting behaviors, saving things that
10 feet up to the
might have
wall.
value. Yeah, when people die in fires because they can't escape when doorways are blocked. Families have to get involved in those cases because, first of all, the person loses perspective on what's normal. And secondly, it's usually the landlord and the family that's more bothered by it. The person who hoards usually isn't that bothered. So the family has to try and get them motivated and help them to clean these things up. But they can't do it for them. They have to do it with them.
You see these patients all the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It can be heartbreaking.
You see progress.
Absolutely.
But you just, I'm sorry I interrupted you, it is heartbreaking to you.
Yeah, well, it's heartbreaking to see the distress that people are in who could be helped. And even after 20 years of treating this, there's still people who don't know that there's help. We still get calls every day from people across the country, around the world, who think that they're crazy and don't know that it's a treatable disorder. Plus just telling the people that doctors, lawyers, judges, we see everybody, broadcasters.
Howard Stern talked about it publicly.
Absolutely. Psychologists, Howie Mandel, actors have talked about it.
Hand washing germ thing.
Ball players have talked about it. So everybody can get OCD. And it's just a magnification of normal behaviors.
Doctor, is that the message of the book?
Absolutely. The message of the book is that it can be treated. First, you have to identify it. Families can be involved. And people can get better.
They can.
They absolutely can.
But they have to acknowledge you cannot act like it's not happening.
Absolutely. They have to work hard. Families have to help by not helping. A lot of times families will think that they're helping. One father was so afraid of contamination, he would force the family to come in through the garage, take off all their clothes, change into perfectly clean clothes before they come into the house. So no children were allowed to have friends in the house because of that. It's very difficult. And the family has to try and not help without creating conflict. That's where the therapist has to come in and try and reduce that conflict.
Sometimes helping by not helping.
Absolutely.
The name of the book is Getting Control, Overcoming Your Obsessions and Compulsions. The author is Dr. Lee Baer. It is an important book and a serious man dealing with a very serious issue. Doctor, thank you for coming all the way down here from Boston to our home in New Jersey. Thank you.
It's a pleasure, Steve.
Appreciate it. Stay tuned. One-on-one will continue right after this. Thank you, Doctor.
Sure.
If you would like more information on this program, or if you'd like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Visit us online at oneonone.org. Or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato, PhD.
Dr. Wolfgang Hinck is the marketing chair at Berkeley College. Good to see you, Doctor.
Good being here. Thanks, Steve.
Let's talk about new trends in marketing as it relates to social media. How has social media changed the marketing equation?
Well, social media has changed the two anchoring points of marketing. Of course, most people think marketing is just commercials, but marketing really starts with the basic market research, trying to identify the needs of the consumers, developing the products, finding distribution channels, pricing the product, and then promoting the product and managing the brand. And really these 2 points at the beginning, research, and brand management at the end, have changed completely thanks to social media.
Okay. I'm thinking to myself, brand management. Try to identify, first you identify who's your market, how do you match up your product and your brand to that market. How has social media changed that?
Well, companies
give us an example.
Yeah, absolutely. Companies used to be in charge of their own brand, right? If we go
what does that mean, in
6
charge
years,
of your own brand?
You promote.
I've got a restaurant.
Your
Go
brand.
ahead.
That's right. You promoted your brand. You sent out the message that you wanted to send out. You were in control. Now, if you have a restaurant, for example.
I got a restaurant. We've got great steaks. We've got great fish. We got great. Here's some testimonials. We're great. Go ahead.
Let's say you don't have great steaks. How many people would you have told about that 6 years ago? Maybe 5, 6, 7 people. And now, thanks to social media, within minutes, we're tweeting that the food is not good. We're making Facebook posts that really don't come to this place, right? We're taking pictures, uploading them, pictures of the food, of the waiting personnel. We're uploading them on some websites, and everybody knows. We're not in control of the brand anymore. As a restaurant, you have to give control to your customers now. And that's a completely new feeling to all these companies because they're not used to it. Because 6 years ago, they were in total control, and now our customers shape our brand, our reputation, what other people think about it.
But wait a minute. If I've got the restaurant, and I want to put out the messaging about my steaks, our fish, our service, I'm doing that.
You can do that.
You're not going to stop me from doing that.
You have a website probably.
Yes.
You have a Facebook page.
Yes. With testimonials.
You're using celebrities maybe even.
Yes.
They're tweeting, I'm at Steve's taco
Steakhouse.
shop.
Or whatever.
Steak shop. Okay, and I love it. But you also have customers that are doing the same thing. And if they don't confirm your message, then there is a discrepancy in the eyes of other third-party customers. And then it comes down to who they believe more. Steve, who talks about his own tacos, steaks,
yes,
or my friends who tell me don't go there because you're not going to like them.
You know, it's so interesting you're saying this. I was looking on a particular website I was looking for a certain product. And I look on it, was a certain, it doesn't matter what it was, a certain sneaker, believe it or not, because there was an arch problem in my foot. And I was looking at the sneaker and I looked at all the testimonials underneath the sneaker, and some were good and some weren't good, but it wasn't controlled by the company. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm talking about that, but I'm talking more so about the testimonials that our friends give, the friends we are
on
with.
Their own?
Say what?
Like if someone starts tweeting about it on their own?
That's right. I believe my friend more than some anonymous person on a website.
Oh, okay.
I'm more likely to watch the movies that my friends like. I'm more likely to buy the shoes that my friends have if they say they're Go shoes. And that's just how we are. And that's why it's so different for companies now to control this.
Can they?
Can they? Absolutely. They have to learn about it. There's research done by Alterian, which is a leading brand management company, and they say 75% of all companies want to develop knowledge. They want to invest. But a third of them have no clue how to even start. But that's why the marketing discipline has to change too. It has to change what we teach. We have to focus more on social, digital media. We have to move more towards communications. Research has changed completely, for example. I don't know if you ever did research, maybe when you were in college to make some extra dollars. I would go around with a questionnaire. I would ask you some questions.
Sure.
And I would ask
like
you.
Like $40. I'll do the survey.
That's right.
Go ahead.
$5.
Okay.
And it only takes 5 minutes, of course. In reality, it would take 20 minutes. But to get more specific, intimate responses from you was impossible. Who did you vote for last time? What is your sexual orientation? What are your preferred brands? And now we don't have to do that anymore because consumers give that information away for free on Facebook, for example. We tell them everything. I'm here. This is my name. This is my birth date. My likes, my activities.
They're volunteering it.
They're volunteering it.
How does the curriculum at Berkeley reflect these changes in terms of teaching students to be ready for this industry as it's changed?
When I came to Berkeley 2.5 years ago, and we had the same marketing program that you can find anywhere else, in Omaha, Nebraska, in Monroe, Louisiana, it doesn't matter. It was the same program. And we decided to put together an advisory board with leading marketers here, and they gave us some input, and we really completely wiped out the existing marketing program and developed from scratch a marketing communications program, which really combines two areas. Usually marketing is taught in a school of business, communications is taught in liberal arts or social sciences. We combine these two areas to prepare these kids for these new careers that are opening up everywhere. Because if you have a marketing degree and you earned it 10 years ago, and you have been on the job 10 years, so many areas have changed in research, in communications, and our kids actually know more when they graduate with a degree. They know more than those people who have been on the job for the longest time.
That's fascinating, because people say, I'm done learning. I got my degree.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't work anymore. I mean, it used to work better in marketing than in medicine, for example, where doctors could never stop learning. But now even in marketing, the dynamics are so huge and fast, and you have to stay on top. And that's the program we develop. It's absolutely a program that's on top of the industry.
The students who you have coming in, is there a certain profile, or are they of all ages, from all backgrounds?
Well, you used to say, like, marketers need to talk. And you may have, the background, we need to talk, but the new generation needs to listen. The new generation needs to analyze. The new generation needs to be a problem solver. So they look at the situations in the markets, they look at what consumers have to say, what they do say, they analyze it, and they use it for their advantage to really accomplish these strategic objectives. So it's still a creative discipline.
Yeah.
But it brings in more research skills, more analytical skills, problem-solving skills, and listening skills.
Did you ever think it would be possible to do what you were doing and the way you're doing it at Berkeley when they recruited you?
No, I loved it, because I came from a typical state-run school where change was slow, if change was happening at all. And now I'm at a proprietary school, and they give me free hand to do what I want to do. And we do that in cooperation with the real world, with our advisory board, with managers, with experts in the area. That's how we develop our curricula here.
How much you love doing that?
I love it. It's great. I really enjoy it. I work much harder than I've ever worked before at any other school.
Really?
But because also we're on the quarter system, so it never stops. But I love it. It's good to change curricula and thus changing lives ultimately, which is what we do.
You are changing lives.
We do.
Important stuff. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I want to reintroduce and let everyone know that Dr. Wolfgang Hinck is the marketing chair at Berkeley College, doing important work. And I love when people say, I'm done. You're never done learning.
I thought I was done, Steve.
You're not done.
I thought I had my PhD. I'm done. I know everything about marketing now. And 8 years later, I knew nothing.
Same here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Appreciate it.
much, Steve.
Stay with us. We'll continue right after this. You're never done.
If you would like more information on this program, or if you'd like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Visit us online at oneonone.org. Or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato, PhD. The following A+ for Education segment has been brought to you by the New Jersey Education Association.
There she is, the beautiful, talented, smiling Marilu Bicknell, who is a basic skills teacher at the Thomas E. Bowe Elementary School in Glassboro, New Jersey. How you doing?
I am doing great.
I heard something that could not be true. I just saw it here. You've been teaching for?
34 years.
Stop it!
Truth.
Not true.
Yes, truth. I don't lie.
You still love it.
I love it.
Passion.
I do. Yes.
Haven't lost it.
Nope.
Amazing.
I have this program. I don't want to give it up.
This program we're talking about is the Real Men Read program.
Yes, it is.
Part of our terrific initiative with the New Jersey Education Association, the Classroom Close-Up series that you see on NJTV all the time with our partners. You're about to see a piece of video about the Real Men Read program. I'm not even going to describe it. We'll see the video, and Marilu will talk about it after that, right?
Yes, I will.
Let's take a look at Real Men Read from Classroom Close-Up, and then a very young teacher will come and talk about it. Let's go to it.
Welcome to our annual Real Men Read kickoff breakfast. This is our fourth one this year.
Marilu Bicknell is a reading specialist here at Thomas E. Bowe Elementary School. And while she's aware of the fact that New Jersey reading scores are among the best in the nation, she's also keenly aware that boys are usually more interested in sports than they are reading. So she came up with the Real Men Read program.
My boys are now looking at the men that are reading and say, okay, our gym teacher doesn't just teach gym, he does read a magazine.
The program invites men from the community to get together with the 4th through 6th grade boys at a breakfast where they can discuss reading. Marilu also displays posters of each guest to raise awareness about them and what they like to read.
This is the kind of books I like. What kind of book do you like? I asked them what is it they wanted to be, and the vast majority are NFL. You know, they're all going to be sports people. And I just stress that, you know, in order for that to happen, for that to become a reality, you're going to have to go to college. And that's why it's important that they read and get a good education, because that's going to be the gateway for them to pursue that next level.
How old was you when you read your first book?
The earliest I can remember reading my first book, I was 4. And I was overly excited to be here because literacy is something that I'm very passionate about and doing works in other realms with, so it just made sense to definitely be a part of a program, especially in the district, as this is my home district, being an alum of Glassboro Public Schools, so I felt the need to be here to give back.
Before I came to Bowe School, I didn't really, I wasn't interested in reading. Then I was in the Real Men Read program, then it was getting more interested. It got me into reading more, it made me read more.
Real men do read, very definitely. I have a real strong interest in reading. I think it's, children should learn that at an early age. My own home is filled with books.
Reading will help you in life and make you better at things, so that kind of inspired me to read more.
This program to me has started as something that was so small and has snowballed into something that's huge. Boys who were reluctant readers, did not want to read, didn't want to pick a book up, are now picking up books. Boys who would maybe get a 20 on a test and say, forget it, I'm not going to read ever again, are now passing with, a 70. I have seen some improvement, which is good. We have a long way to go still, but there's light at the end of the tunnel, which is great.
Oh, I'm impressed.
Thank you.
You started this program.
Yes, I did.
How?
Oh, gosh, about 4 years ago, I went to a workshop through the grace of my principal, said go ahead and go. And it was about bringing boys and books together. And if you've ever seen the posters in the libraries, it has a picture of LL Cool J, Orlando Bloom. They're standing there, it says read. They're holding a book in front of them. Our boys will never meet LL Cool J. They'll never meet Orlando Bloom, but they will meet my principal, the mayor, the chief of police. There's a great picture we have of a man on a Harley Davidson, Mr. Bryan. Mr. Bryan is our maintenance man. He takes care of our air conditioning and our heat, gets the balls off the roof. They love that picture of him on a Harley Davidson, sitting with a Harley Davidson magazine and his goggles across his face, so they love it. Our gym teacher, Rich Bertelli, when they saw his picture, they just went, our gym teacher reads? They just to see the gym teacher as in the gym with a whistle, football, basketball.
Did the men who were involved, were they easy to get?
Absolutely. No one has ever said no to me.
Really?
And I have about 67 pictures. I have some parents, some soldiers. I always make sure that when I have my kickoff breakfast, I always invite a soldier, so it's always centered somewhere around Veterans Day. We have some parents that are on reserve in the Army, Marines. I have some Marines that come. One of our teachers, her father is a retired Marine, so he comes in his dress blues and looks so nice. And the children get to see the men that they might run in town. They might run them into the local grocery store, at Borough Hall, at the fire department, the police department, while their parents are paying their bills or taxes or water bill.
You've seen some of these boys. You've seen them grow tremendously. You've seen them achieve things that they really may not have otherwise achieved if they hadn't gotten into reading, and they got into reading to a large extent because of this program. What does that feel like?
It's a wonderful feeling because they do come and say thank you. There's a variety of different venues for them. Just to give you an example, a couple of parents will come in and as well as some of the teachers. One of the people that we have come in is one of our Board of Education members.
A great Board of Education member.
Yes, he is.
He comes in,
I get really
reads. Go
upset when
ahead.
I can't remember.
Don't worry about it.
Yes, I know.
He knows who he is.
But he comes in, and he always gives all his life experience. He works for Lockheed Martin.
Right.
And Dan Marino.
I knew you were going to get that.
Anyway, he comes in. Anthony, sorry, not Dan. Dan Marino's a football player.
Dan Marino's a football player.
Anthony Marino, yes, Anthony Marino.
I was going to say, wow, she gets Dan Marino to come in.
Good. I have had some.
Because you want Dan Marino to come in, that's why.
That's it.
But
but
what's
he
his
has,
first name again? Anthony.
Anthony
Okay.
Marino, big supporter, one of our Board of Education members, went to Japan, and in the springtime when we had our culmination end of the year party, he came, brought all these different artifacts from Japan. Boys will now wanted to research Japan. They wanted to research Lockheed Martin. They wanted to know what he did for a living.
They became curious.
Absolutely.
Are the grades better?
Yes. They have gone up at least 1 grade level in reading, which is good. And we have a long way to go. Just like I said, we have a long way to go, and that's why I want to stay into teaching.
It's so interesting to me. This particular episode, by the way, I want to tell our audience, this particular episode of Classroom Close-Up, which you can actually see at NJEA, go on the website and find out, was nominated for
an Emmy.
How great is that?
I know, that was just like so awesome. But you have to understand too, this program doesn't run unless everybody's on board. So from my principal, Kristen Matthews, to my vice principal, Ron Ferraro, and I'm going to try to get everybody's name in.
Look at you, it's like, I want to thank the Academy.
Even our custodial staff too. I have pictures of our custodial staff. So any man that the boys are in.
All right, 1 to 10. How much do you love your job?
I love my job, 10 plus.
10 plus.
Plus.
I got to tell you something. You're changing kids' lives, and you started this program. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Nice meeting you.
You're terrific.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the New Jersey Education Association, working for great public schools for every child, and by Wells Fargo. Promotional support provided by NJ Biz, All Business, All New Jersey, and by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association and its monthly magazine, New Jersey Business. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been produced in partnership with St. Joseph's Healthcare System.
New Jersey Manufacturers Insurance Company offers policies that can protect against auto accidents, fires, windstorms, floods, and many other serious and urgent situations. Tips on what to do before, during, and after you're confronted with the unexpected are on the emergency preparedness section of njm.com. New Jersey Manufacturers, helping the Garden State prepare for the unexpected for nearly a century.
I'm Steve Adubato. Join me for the next edition of Caucus New Jersey, Taxes, Healthcare, Education, and the Economy. I'll ask the questions that you want answered.
Airing on NJTV, 13, and WHYY. Check your local listings.